Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. I've got this Lexi Blitz deck from Tales of Aria. She is the new Elemental Ranger, and let's open it up and see what's inside. Taking the plastic off, but haven't looked otherwise. Lexi Live Wire. See, it's got a second set of plastic on it. Alright, so these Blitz decks, they typically have one foil card. Can we get that to really reflect? It's having some trouble. And, you know, one of the things that Legend Story Studios does that's really nice is they kind of do very subtle foiling on some of the cards. It's not just all over the place. So it looks like here it's just her bow and her hair, maybe, and some sparkles. Very nice. So we'll have her bow and some item cards, equipments. You know, Flesh and Blood has a system where basically you have these equipment cards you start with on various parts of your body, and as the game goes on they get kind of used up, worn down, or destroyed. And so it's actually a kind of game where in some respects you get less powerful as the game goes on. And then you get into some of the action cards. I just wanted to take a look at the artwork on these. You know, the card quality is just typically very, very good for Legend Story. They really have things under control when it comes to making sure that somebody is being an advocate for them at the printing facility. Very, very unlike WotC. I've said this before, but it's kind of like James from Legend Story Studios just looks at everything that Wizards of the Coast has done over the last several years and just always does something different, or maybe always does the opposite. Because when you look at Wizards of the Coast, you just kind of wonder how do they make it through the day, the way they run stuff. You know, something that's kind of neat about the way they've built this game is they'll have these cards, and you know, you have heroes in each expansion set, named heroes, and then you'll have a bunch of class specific cards that correspond to that hero. And typically the artwork on those class-specific cards from that set will also feature that hero. And so you'll have all of this, basically the same hero repeated in the artwork on the cards that they're designed to use in the deck. And so artistically, it just makes this much more cohesive view of everything. You know, something I just noticed. It looks like they added another stripe across the top. That's kind of cool. Was that always there? Or am I just crazy? Maybe it was always there. Yeah, one of the interesting things about this game, you'll notice that some of these cards are repeated quite a lot. I think in these Blitz decks, typically the limit is 2 copies of any card. But every card has 3 versions with different pitch costs, which is these dots up here. So this one has a pitch of 2 because it has 2 red dots. And so you could have up to 6 copies of a card if you count the different pitch versions. And the game really gives you a lot of interesting tactical choices to make based on, do I pitch the card for resources to play another card, or do I pitch the other card and play this card? Do I use the card on defense, or do I save it for attack during my next turn? Do I save it for a future turn, or do I play it now? And so there's all these really interesting trade-offs that you make, and they're all made during the game. It's less like Magic, where the biggest trade-offs are made in deck building and what you want to put in the deck. And I think this is a much different kind of thing. This is interesting. They have this art card, which is something they do in a lot of decks. I'm going to open these other 2 in some separate videos, but I just wanted to run through that. Hopefully you enjoy the artwork and kind of a little bit of discussion of why Flesh and Blood is such an interesting game. If you like this kind of thing, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade. Thanks a lot.